We've been talking about spyware and some of the annoying things it might do to infect your system. Let's look at a couple of more registry hacks. We have two fun files today. One is Superman versing a Jedi. How annoying is that? And the other one is... Let's look at a couple of registry keys. Do you remember the first one? That allowed you to set values to start things automatically. And let's go back and review that. That was HK local machine. It was in software and Microsoft and Windows current version and run. Okay. And what we would do, first thing we'll do is let's add a new string value. So a key, and again we'll make it something fairly innocent, system. And we want to path it out to this right here. And let's rename this to something something innocent looking. There. Now that looks pretty innocent looking there. And let's put it someplace tucked away in the file system. We're going to go to Windows, and how about, last time we went to System 32, let's go to System this time. And close that. Now in Registrated, what we want to do is give this a key value of that location, and what we called the file, so System 32 DLL FLV. And let's just check, make sure that's the path to our file. Windows, System 32 DLL FLV. And it's not case sensitive, but so there's our startup registry. The other thing we want to do, let's take this, Superman versus Jedi, and we'll throw that into System 32. How about that? And we'll throw it into, the spool folder. And what we want to do is, just like group policy can lock down a desktop, so can registry hacks and settings. There's tons of them, but spyware viruses will make use of this a lot of times. The first thing we want to do is go to HKey current user, and under HKey current user, let's go to software and Microsoft and Windows. And then in Windows, we want to go to current version. And what we're interested in is this section here called policies. And the first thing we want to do is, if there's not an active desktop policy, then we want to create one. So we need to create a key this time. And under policies, we're going to create a key, and we will call it active desktop. And now inside of active desktop, we need to add some variables, and in this case, there'll be D-word values. So what we want to do now is give them very specific names, so no adding components. Now by default it's false. Remember that 0 is false and 1 is true. What you want to do is set that to be true. And that's okay, it's a hex value, so it'll just add it onto the end there, but no adding components we want to add. We're going to add another D-word value, and in this case it'll be called no deleting components, or no deleting components, I'm sorry. And again, we want to set that from false to true. And we're going to go over here, and I'm going to make a new D-word value, and this one we want to call no editing components. And again, I'm going to set that to true, and I'm going to add a fourth one. And we want to go new, and we want to go dword value, and this is going to be no closing components. And I'm going to set that to true. And again, so all of these have been set to true. Now, the next thing we want to do is create, if you don't have an Explorer policy, then create one. If you do, in this case, we already have an Explorer key. But I want to go ahead and add a couple of dword values here. So I want to add force active desktop on, and I want to add no active desktop changes. So over here, I'm going to do new dword value. Force active desktop on, and I'm going to set that to be true. And again, I'm going to go over here and add a new dword value, and it's going to be no active desktop changes. No active desktop changes, and again, that value is going to be 1. Okay. Now that would be under my Explorer key. Now in policies, I also need a system key. There's not one, so I need to make myself one. So I'm going to go ahead and make a system key down here. When I make the system key, here's where I can actually specify my wallpaper. So here I'm going to make new, and this time I want to make a string value, and it's going to be wallpaper, and we will call it and here I want to set it, in this case, to the path of, and what was it called? Super Jedi. Make sure I get the name right. I think it was Super Jedi JPEG. Super Jedi JPEG. And that's the path to my wallpaper. And then I just want to create one more of wallpaper style. And I'm going to go and wallpaper style. You do okay, and wallpaper style there. And that's it. Let's go ahead and reboot. Before I do that, let me just check the path real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and have them go down here, run. Okay. Now notice before I reboot here, even before I've rebooted, I don't have permission to change my wallpaper. And in this case, all of this has been grayed out. I've no. It's just like if you had group policy, and I had stopped it with group policy, but it's displaying here, but it won't really display here until I reboot. And then also when I reboot, that's when it'll play that Numa Numa. So let's go ahead and reboot. We're going to restart here. And we'll see what happens. A nice little prank slash lesson about the Windows registry here. So, assuming we had a bad piece of spyware, something really annoying, or a virus, you can imagine a virus that ran around infecting every machine on your network so that it played Numa Numa when it booted up, and had Superman versus a Jedi locked down for wallpaper that couldn't be changed. Is that annoying enough? Or should we get more annoying? Okay. As they say, annoy but do not destroy. Let me go ahead and log in.